Hi lovely ones, it's Ethony and it is Oracle Wednesday. It is that time again. It is Wednesday, my lovelies, and this is Oracle Wednesday where you can pick your pile of cards and receive a message for the week of the 7th, I had to look, to the 13th of August 2019. And I am, as always, very excited to show you what I've chosen this week. And let's get to it. I'm going to swap over cameras and you are going to pick the pile that you feel drawn to. Come on back and let's have a look at your revealed messages. Okay, lovelies, it's now time to take a big, deep breath, to center your energy and to ask yourself, what message do I need to hear for this coming week? What guidance do I need? What action can I take on behalf of my highest good? However you want to phrase that for yourself. And then pick a pile of cards. This is pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. I also recommend that you write down the pile that you picked so that you do not forget when you get over to the messages. And when you're ready, continue on with this video. Okay, for those of you who chose pile number 1, these are your cards. The first card you have is the 4 of Pentacles. Your second card is the 2 of Wands. And you finish off with a oracle card of Stop, Breathe. So the big message for you this week is to just do exactly as that last card says. You need to stop. And if you can't stop, because really we can't really stop altogether, you're being asked to slow down. A lot has been going on. You have maybe been trying to do too many things at once. You have been attempting things that may be outside of your limit. You may have had unrealistic expectations of how fast something is going. All of these things have been piling up on you. But what you're being asked to do is, first of all, see how you're carrying on your energy. The 4 of Pentacles, we've got this gorgeous little squirrel that has a pentacle in its mouth, 2 in its hands, and 1 on its tail. And in the Rider-Waite-Smith, we see this person with pentacles on their feet, 1 over their heart chakra and 1 in their crown. Basically just saying, like, a lot of what's going on, you've probably got your fingers in a lot of pies, you're very spread out, but really this is a card of concerning yourself with discernment. That's a tongue twister. Discernment in regards to your energy. It's of reserving yourself, having control, being patient, and trying not to be too closed off while you're doing all that, because sometimes we can go from like this excess of energy right to just closing ourselves off. That doesn't really help either. But you are being asked to be a little bit patient. Not everyone's favorite. I actually don't think anyone's favorite thing to hear, but you are being asked to kind of conserve that energy, bring that in, and stop trying to do way too much or have way too many expectations of yourself and other people moving forward. The big key for you this week is to look at your expenditure of your energy, your time, and your money very, very wisely. Ponder things. Actually take the time to contemplate, reflect, research, meditate, however you choose to do that. Seek wise counsel. We all have our own ways of deciding whether something is worthwhile and deciding whether we are going to do something. And with the 2 of Wands, you're being asked to be very careful about how you do spend that energy. You have got so much capability and so much potential, but you want to make sure that you're moving in the right direction. And the 2 of Wands is about looking at the options that you have in front of you and knowing which one is best, in which way is best, which area is best for you to move forward. Now, when you do move forward, because as I mentioned, it's not likely that you're going to just stop altogether. Just doing it slowly, slow and steady, pace yourself and things like that. There's no need to kind of get a little, too over enthusiastic. Just kind of show up, be consistent, be patient, be loyal, and keep going. Your final message for the week is to stop and breathe. And what I really, really like about this is that this kind of tied everything up for me when I was channeling the message for the first pile. It's like you may have been running at autopilot. You may have been doing things that you are used to doing and doing things that feel comfortable and that you are just used to it. You know, we get used to a certain level of routine or a certain level of activity, and then when we change it or we're called to change it, it becomes uncomfortable. But the stop and breathe card is saying to you that you are not dictated by your past. Your past does not dictate who you are. You can actually allow yourself to realign and to reassess and to let go of what's not helping the situation and free the binds, So for you, all of you lovely ones who have group number 1, careful consideration is needed this week. Slow down a little bit. Slow down a lot in some people's cases. I think you'll know who you are. Ensure that you're carefully contemplating what you're doing and the expenditure of your energy, and then stop and breathe. Probably a lot of you who've picked number 1 might benefit from something from like going and doing some swimming, because that is a exercise and activity that focuses on the breath. Go do some meditation if that's your Jimmy Jams. Go do some yoga. All those things that really align yourself to your breath is a very good idea this week. Pile number 2, your first card is the 5 of Wands. Your second card is the 8 of Cups. And the third card is Break Free. Now, if this is the first time you're watching Oracle Wednesday with myself, welcome. I will be showing and sharing with you the cards that I've used this week, so do not fret. I will make sure I share that, and it's also in the description below. This is a very interesting message when I was sitting with these cards and channeling them forward. Basically, the situation that you're in, the energy that you're in, or the space of being challenged or conflict, or in a space of conflict, even if that's just with yourself, has really come from maybe no reason. It's come from digging your heels in. It's come from maybe not wanting to swallow your pride and apologizing. It's come from all those spaces where it's just like we know really deep within ourselves this is actually not aligned to who we are and what we want in the world. But we've kind of committed so far down the path that we're like, if I back out now, I'm going to be seen as being weak. I'm going to be seen as a laughingstock, yada, yada, yada. Insert your own text here, however you choose to see it. The problem here is that it's still causing you stress. It's still something that you're having to manage. It's still something in your life, your energy fields that is, keeping this on your mind, which this energy could be used elsewhere. It could be put towards something much more fun, much more beneficiary to yourself in all ways, shapes and forms. So really you're being asked this week, group 2, in a loving way, to kind of have a look at any of the situations that are causing you stress and see if you have been putting yourself in them, whether that's consciously or not, for no reason. If there is really no reason for you to be in there, if there's no reason for you to be fighting the fight or taking this battle, if it's time for you to put down things and stop being involved. Sometimes too, you don't have to have a direct involvement. Sometimes you just love sitting by the sidelines and poking the bear a little bit and gossiping or whatever it may be to keep people, keep things interesting because of gossip. But that is not cool. You're being asked not to do that. Plus, karmically, it's going to come back around and smack you in the behind. What you're with this 8 of Cups is you got to leave it behind. Even if the investment in this situation has been one of emotion, and you're emotionally invested and you don't want to let go and you don't want to give up and all that bloody blinkety blah blah blah, you need to give yourself a break. You need to cut it off and move on. Sometimes some things are just not worth fighting over, whether this is a long-standing argument you've had with someone in your family, or it's someone that you just really had an idea that you'd end up with but is dragging you along and is not committing either way. It's time to pack it up, leave behind the emotional baggage, and go find your own way, because it's really not doing you any good. Your final card this week is Break Free. You do not have to allow the patterns of the past to dictate what is going to happen in the future. You can make the decision to break free. Give yourself the gift and give yourself permission to let go, to know what is not good for you, and to replace that with something that is actually good for your mind, body, and soul. Really, this week, a part of moving forward for you is being in a reflective space, those of you who picked group number 2, and saying, is this stress worth it? Is this worth it to the toll that it's taking? Am I really getting out of this situation what I desire, or am I just putting myself through the ringer for absolutely no reason, no return, no enjoyment, no joy, nothing. So that is what you're being asked to do this week. Remove yourself from those situations and just be a little bit more mindful when it comes to involving yourself in conflict and drama. Sometimes it's not good for you or anybody else to get involved. Okay, so we have now pile number 3. 3 of Cups is your first card. Your second card is the Lovers. And then the third card for you all is Acceptance. Now this was also another interesting one, because when I was shuffling these out, it's like Acceptance and the Lovers and the 3 Cups. There was sort of this like weird mix of energies, and then I really had to sit with it. And this is about really being very accepting of the people in your life, but knowing who is worth being in your life and who is not. There are people that you are going to call when you have a good time, when you want to have a good time. You may have a group of friends who are just like your party people, and then there are a group of friends who've been with you forever. And part of knowing where you're spending your time and who you're spending your time with, and choosing who you're spending your precious moments on this planet with, is accepting the fact that we are complex beings, and accepting the fact that you can't get everything from everybody. So the message of your first card is, this is a really positive time for you. There is nothing in this layout that says that you really need to stop doing anything, or you need to be really cautious or aware of anything. Really, this is like, cheers, babes. You know, you're doing a really good job. Things are actually kind of going pretty sweet. Stop and smell the roses a little bit if you can. Go and have a fun time. Infuse your week with some joy, laughter, fun, and play. This is often seen as a card of companionship, sharing your abundance and sharing the good things with other people in your life. And that is what this beautiful card is all about. And then you have the Lovers, which is another this feels very indulgent this week. This whole thing feels very sexy and indulgent and fun and, all that kind of stuff. So if you have been, have you got a certain itch that needs scratching, then, this week is a good one for you, pile 3, to go out and find a lovely love affair. The Lovers can be a card of relationships. This could be celebrating with someone that you love, because we've got the celebration card over here. I've got 3 cards and only 2 hands. You've got this celebration card as well here, and sharing your happiness and joy with other people. But it's also the card of choice. And that's what I mean right at the beginning when I said choose very wisely when it comes to who you share your love with. And that's what this card in the deck really does talk about, because we have the Greek goddesses of Athena and Aphrodite. Athena being a goddess of strategy, war, wisdom. And then we have Aphrodite being the goddess of pleasure and love and beauty. And it's like being discerning and really just having a wise moment to yourself, knowing who is worthy of your love and who is not. That is not you being bitchy. That is not you being nasty. That is you just really honoring yourself and going, if I'm the one who's always making plans, or if you're the one who's always chasing people, or if you're the one always going to somebody else's house, or if you're the one always giving and you're not receiving anything back, that is actually a very valid space for you to stop and go, something may not be rickety right now. Your final card is Acceptance. And what I love about this little message is and I rarely read straight from the cards, so this is a rare one. The heart wants to give it all, but it's also okay to accept your limitations and accept help. Not everything is being asked of you. So what I took from this is not only not everything is being asked of you, but you don't have to give everything of yourself to everyone all the time. Basically, that would make you a doormat, and basically that would make you exhausted, probably sick, very, very stressed, and very, very unhappy. So if you've been finding that you maybe people want to ride your coattails, or have been asking a little bit too much from you this week, that'll be your only little thing to take away. And you also don't have to share everything with everyone, even if you do love them. Have your little boundaries in place and have space that is just for you, and time that is just for you as well. So that is your message for pile number 3 this week. Now, the decks that I have chosen this week that I've worked with, the first one is the Naked Heart Tarot by Gillian C. Wilde. It is a gorgeous deck by a lovely lady. She's a local Canadian, local Vancouverite. I have done an unboxing of both the first and second editions. I have the third edition. I have not gotten around to unboxing it, but you will find those other ones on my channel. The back is so beautiful. It's this gorgeous grid as well. The guidebook, it's actually available on Amazon, so that's great for those of you who... Look at that little rainbow turtle. Love me a little turtle. That was my nickname when I was hiking in Peru. Tortuga. Not because I look like a turtle, or maybe I do look like a turtle, but I was very slow and steady up the mountain. It was high. This comes with a beautiful chunky guidebook. Gillian's writing is, oh, look at that. Empowered by love. That was just a fluke to open it by there. It's a beautiful chunky guidebook. She's done a brilliant job. So that's the Naked Heart Tarot. That was the first one that I used. The second deck that I used this week is the 78 Tarot Mythical by the lovely team at Artist Collectives. That's Katie and also Trish, the people that I tend to know very well there. This is the 5th collaborative deck. There are some copies available still on the website. I think Katie just got everything in for Elemental, I think was our latest one. I have no association with this deck in regards to like the creation or anything of it. I just looks like Nicole Kidman, right? Except that I love their work and I love them, and I'm good. Oops, something fell on the floor. I'm good friends with Katie and Trish. The backs are so pretty. So I have done an unboxing of this deck. I love supporting this deck and the works of this beautiful team. Collaborative decks, I understand that they're not everyone's mac and cheese. They're not everyone's thing. But I love the fact that I get to see the tarot in, I think there was like 80 something cards in this because there's some extras in many different ways. And that's what I've always loved about this amazing collaboration. I love reading for this, like in something like this, like Oracle Wednesday, or for myself, you know, a real, I'm going to try not to show like too many of the same kind of vibe cards. You know, I like being able to be challenged and see things from a very, very different perspective. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, I really, really dig it. Other times I'm like, you know, I would have maybe done something different, but that's what makes it all so very cool bananas. I have got links to, oh my gosh, today on my desk, it is something else just fell. It's a hot mess. I may have goblins. I may have to cleanse my space. You know you're a witch when you're like, yep, I've got some ghoulies in the house that need to be taken care of. The final one is the Self-Love Oracle, and I love this. Is by Janet Chu, and it is really stunning. The reason why it's not in its box is because it's been on my altar, my tarot reading altar, since I got it. So this I have used in so many readings. The back is beautiful. I've used this so many times, a lot of the time because I love getting love messages, but also because a lot of people read readings about love. And I swear I'm nearly back to doing readings for all of you who've been waiting patiently to work with me. I love you. Her artwork is just simply stunning. I found this through Instagram. I have an unboxing on my channel. I will always support her. God, I mean, I'm just like, basically I just get like super jealous and inspired. Not jealous like as in like horribly jealous, but like I'm just not that good at painting. Like I try, but it's just not very good. But I love seeing other people doing their thing. So those are the decks that I used this week. Those are your messages, my lovely ones. If you liked this, please make sure you share it, and I will see you all next week.